Hello, everybody. It's author Matthew W. Quinn here with another movie review, this one of the Netflix streaming original Enola Holmes. Since the sequel is coming out relatively soon, I thought this would be a nice and timely way to return to my long-neglected YouTube channel. So, here we go. The premise is that Britain's greatest detective, Sherlock Holmes, played by Henry Cavill from Superman, did not have just one sibling, his older brother Mycroft, played by Sam Claflin, but a much, much younger sister, Enola, played by Millie Bobby Brown. So Sherlock and Mycroft were adults, or close enough, when she was born, and their father died soon after, leaving Enola to be raised by her eccentric mother, Eudora, played by Helena Bonham Carter. Eudora taught her all sorts of things Victorian society wouldn't approve upper-class young ladies knowing, like martial arts, explosive chemistry, etc., and Enola is as extraordinarily intelligent and perceptive as her brother. Then Eudora disappears. Mycroft and Sherlock arrive to investigate, and Mycroft is not happy that Enola is not, by his standards, particularly ladylike, so he's going to send her to finishing school. And this finishing school is run by the domineering Miss Harrison, who quickly becomes abusive. So Enola runs away, seeking clues from others left behind, and stumbling across a conspiracy to kill the young Viscount Tewkesbury, played by Louis Partridge, that's connected to some legislation to expand voting rights in Britain. Meanwhile, her two brothers are looking for her. So start with the stuff I liked. Millie Bobby Brown does an absolutely great job as Enola. Seriously, she's the best part of the movie. She puts so much emotion into the part, both positive and negative, and she is so entertaining to watch. Her facial expressions in particular are friggin' hilarious. Cavill and Claflin are good in their parts as well, although they're much less entertaining than Enola is. Cavill projects Holmes' intelligence, and Claflin is downright hissable as Mycroft. More on that later. And although she's not in the movie very much, Helena Bonham Carter is very good too, and the scenes between her and Enola have real poignance. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of them together in the second movie. The script is generally well written. Enola has a running commentary on everything, including at times breaking the fourth wall, and that made me laugh out loud a lot. I watch a lot of movies on my Kindle at the gym, and I'm sure the people working out with me really appreciated that. The movie also moves along a quick clip and is rarely dull. Again, makes running elliptical and ironing clothes so much more tolerable. Also, the film gets a lot more political than I remember the Holmes stories being. The ones I've read seem to focus on him just solving crimes, but during the time Sherlock would have lived, he's an old man at the beginning of World War I, British society is rapidly changing. So the reform bills mentioned in the movie, I'm guessing, are the Representation of the People Act of 1884. That would have expanded voting rights, which were previously based on income or land ownership. There was also a lot of agitation for women to get the right to vote. So Sir Arthur Conan Doyle might not have been interested in getting into politics in his stories, and Holmes would have been too monomaniacal at solving crimes to care, but this is a pretty interesting vein to mine. Also, there's a major plot point about how women should be able to control their own money. To quote the almighty TV tropes, some anvils need to be dropped. Okay, now we move on to the parts I didn't like. So, the characterization of Mycroft is about as subtle as hitting somebody in the head with a brick. The filmmakers need a villain, so apparently the people involved in a plot to murder a teenage boy aren't bad enough. So they depict Mycroft, who in the books is as smart as Sherlock, he's too lazy to apply it, and they make him a cranky, snide reactionary who disdains the reform bill and is just mean to Enola. And to be incredibly petty, they depict him as not being as smart as either Sherlock or Enola. I mean, again, as I mentioned, the source material, he's as smart as Sherlock, he's just lazy and he's addicted to his routines. Yes, most Victorian men of their class would find Enola embarrassing, but she's still his sister. He can want to send her to a mind-numbing ladies' finishing school against her wishes and pull rank as her older brother and legal guardian without just being nasty. He also doesn't seem particularly concerned for her well-being. A pretty young woman without a lot of real-life experience due to her age, on the run of Victorian Britain, is probably in great danger, and that should worry him. But he just seems more mad she's gotten away from him than he's concerned she's going to get raped or murdered. And just so we know he's bad, he thinks letting more people in Britain vote will be the downfall of the nation. I mean, if you want to critique Victorian society, you could just depict him as loving his sister and meaning well, but just wants to shove her into society's round hole because he's a man and he knows what's best. Good people can make bad or even cruel decisions because they think it's right. So you don't have to make Mycroft mean or spiteful. That said, this is a delightful film and I'm glad there's a sequel. 9 out of 10. There's not a lot of movies to give that good a review to. So check out the comments below for links to the movie and to the book series on which it's based. Y'all have a good night.